Hey guys, Aaron Z-Bronzong here, and we are back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 18 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Of course, you guys have seen this team, lots of action already, and I think this video is going to be up on Friday, so yeah, it will probably be the second to last, maybe the third to last, depending on how quickly I get my new team in game. So yeah, I'm not going to give you the same spiel. We're just going to get into the first game of today's episode against Alex, running a team of T-Tar, Ferrothorn, Dusclops, Salamence, Feeny, and the Aegislash. Definitely a very cool team, especially with the Dusclops. Very curious to see what that ends up doing. Ferrothorn is definitely one of the most annoying Pokemon for my team to deal with, like grass types in general. As you saw, like Kartana yesterday was definitely a matchup I had to maneuver around. This seems maybe even a little bit trickier. So let's see how I want to approach this. So my opponent obviously has like a pretty evident Trick Room component as well with the, like I basically want to shut down the Salamence early on if I can. Because if I shut down Salamence, then that paves the way a little bit more. Like I'm fine playing the Trick Room game here against my opponent. I could also lead Kangaskhan Azumarill, which is honestly a little bit tempting. Knockoff should knock out Kartana. Not Kartana, Ferrothorn. I haven't given Azumarill love in a while, and I'm really thinking about it. Otherwise, Coco Kang could be interesting. You know what? Let's give Kang Azumarill a whirl here. Who do I want in the back? I'm thinking Coco Snorlax. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Amoonguss here. So I'm gonna go full offense this time around. It could work out, could not work out, but we'll really have to see. Yeah, I mean, the main issue is like Ferrothorn. I can deal with if I get a low kickoff or +6 knockoff or +6 high horsepower, but it does take a little bit of setup to get there. Goth was definitely still tempting to lead with just to trap in and for helping hand pressure, but we'll see how this goes. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And it's going to be Kangaskhan Azumarill in the first time in quite a while. It's going to be Tyranitar and Dusclops coming out for my opponent. Okay. Now, this is an interesting lead. It's very interesting. Because I could really just fake out and belly drum. In fact, like Tyranitar might protect here because it's worried about a low kick. So I could scrappy fake out Dusclops and belly drum. This is so tempting. Otherwise, the play I want to make is just low kick Tyranitar and belly drum. There's no reason to fake out Tyranitar. Yeah, it's just whether my opponent anticipates Scrappy or not. Even so, like, a Rock Slide won't do enough to knock me out. So I feel like this is my best play. And if Tyranitar protects, that is honestly probably game. Right there. I know it's so early to say that, but I just foresee, like, see me being in such a good position after turn 1 if Tyranitar actually protects and Dusclops just stays in. So we'll see. It's slightly risky. The downside is obviously getting flinched by Tyranitar. It is Megatar, it is Mega Evolving, so that means it's probably attacking, which is no bueno for me. Although I guess you should Mega Evolve here, because I don't have any weather, so might as well just get your stats up immediately. Okay, so no Protect coming out from Tyranitar, unfortunately for me. Dusclops actually was not going for a Trick Room, and we see a Superpower come out from Tyranitar. Wow, okay, interesting. That was probably a Will-O-Wisp coming out my way. Which would make the most sense. Yeah. So that was a nice play by my opponent. Superpower Tyranitar, it's not the craziest set. I mean, like, Rock Slide, Dragon Dance, Crunch, Protect is the normal set. But Superpower is being run now. And it's important to note that Dusclops is actually faster than the Tyranitar and the Azumarill. So that is pretty interesting to note. So, obviously not the ideal turn 1 there. Ideally, Dusclops would have just tried a Trick Room. And Tyranitar would have... Sorry, I'm trying to process my thoughts right now. Tyranitar would have protected. But I think I'll just bring in Coco now. Yeah. Very nice play last turn by my opponent for sure. Still not bad though, because of course I do get a Azumarill set up. I really think Dusclops surely was going for a Will-O-Wisp there. Which is like, hindsight's 2020, but obviously like, oh, I could have low-kicked Tyranitar and protected Azumarill, but that is a play I would never really make on the first turn. Nice like, decision to just attack with Tyranitar though. It was a great call. I'm tempted to really just Aqua Jet. The other play I'm thinking of is protecting Azumarill, but I could get doubled up into Coco. Which would be quite bad. Yeah, I think I'm going to just Thunderbolt. I don't think Gigavolt Havoc knocks out Dusclops. So I'm just going to Thunderbolt it. I don't think Tyranitar's protecting here, so I'm going to Aqua Jet it. If it goes, good call. It switches out, but that's still a +5 Aqua Jet, or sorry, +6 Aqua Jet coming out. Ferrothorn's a good switch, but I think I'm actually okay with that. Let's see. I mean, Aqua Jet does do a sizable amount, and I need to get as much damage anytime I can against this Ferrothorn. So I get the Thunderbolt off against Dusclops, and Dusclops actually goes for the Trick Room. Oh, interesting. So maybe I should have tried to deny Trick Room a little bit harder. I guess at this point I'd even consider it, really. Which might have been a mistake on my end. But I really could just Aqua Jet the Dusclops for a knockout. Yeah, Aqua Jet Dusclops. But there's still Megatar in the back. Yeah, that was bad on my end. I should have tried to deny Trick Room harder and gone for a knockoff. Because I was fairly sure Tyranitar there was probably... Oh, I thought Tyranitar was staying actually an attack, so... my opponent made definitely a better play. I mean, I could protect Azumarill here and, like, Gigavolt the Ferrothorn, so let it in Aqua Jet KO range the next turn. The only question is whether my opponent expects to protect. Because I could just get doubled up into Koko. I think I'm still going to play it safe here, but... I'd get punished really heavily. I think I'd probably lose the game if I get doubled up onto Koko. So this is pretty risky on my end. My other play was to just Aqua Jet and Gigavolt. Cheeky ally switch coming out there as Power Whip comes out. It does target the Protect at least, but I did not Gigavolt that slot. I mean, I'm still okay with this, I guess. I get the knockout onto the Dusclops. And now I still pressure with +6 Aqua Jet, so whatever is coming in most likely has to protect. But obviously it would have been nicer if I just got the Gigavolt off against the Ferrothorn. Yeah, I would have been in a pretty solid spot if I went for the knockoff and the Dazzling Gleam, I think. Because the main issue is with Trick Room up, I have to Aqua Jet and I can't click knockoff. So that was a really nice play on my opponent's end. Yeah, definitely outplayed me the first couple of turns. But I probably wouldn't play it any differently. The first turn I wouldn't play it any differently. I think the second turn I definitely should have considered just knocking off. Or even Aqua Jetting and doubling up into the Dusclops. Because I really just expected Trick Room to come out in the first turn. It's actually going to be Feeny coming in. Okay, interesting. So Snorlax could still potentially win me this game. How many turns of terrain are left in the sand? I want to Aqua Jet and Thunderbolt Feeny. You probably Power Whip Azumarill here. What would you do? Just Power Whip Azumarill and Moonblast Koko. I guess Specs Feeny would also cause me a lot of problems. I just don't see much upside to switching out Azumarill. Get the knockout onto Feeny. And then try to win with Snorlax. Oh, but Snorlax has superpower. I should have protected, I think, there with Koko. Wait, did I protect last turn? No, I didn't. That was not a good play. I think I probably lose this from that. I should have thought a little bit harder. As Aqua Jet still does a good amount. We actually see Gyro Ball coming out. Targeting a Zoo? Huh. That was kind of risky, I guess. Because Muddy Water could have missed. But I suppose it's not, like, the worst play. Hopefully no accuracy drop here with Koko. Doesn't look like it. The only issue is that my opponent has superpower on that Tyranitar, which is what I'm really worried about. So yeah, I get the knockout on a Feeny, but not sure if that's really quite worth. I think in hindsight, maybe it would have been better to switch out into Snorlax and then just Belly Drum this next upcoming turn. Yeah, this Ferrothorn has caused me a lot of pain. Okay, so I bring out Snorlax. What do you do now if you're my opponent? Superpower Snorlax? Probably. Yeah, the main issue is that Snorlax can't recycle. Like, if I would actually prefer Trick Room to have ended, but I believe this is the last turn right now. I guess I'll still protect here to be safe. And a high horsepower, because then that would actually put Tyranitar in Dazzling KO range. But I think you probably just double up on Snorlax here with a Gyro Ball and a Power Whip and a Superpower. The only question is whether that can actually knock me out or not. Yep, there's the Power Whip. Superpower should definitely do enough. Yeah, that's probably game. Unless for some reason my opponent did not superpower. Yeah, you pretty much have to. Is that enough? Yeah. So I needed a Power Whip miss. I was thinking Power Whip would honestly do less damage, but that Ferrothorn is clearly very invested. Like, if I survive the superpower there, Sandstorm subsides, I heal back, and then I can just click Dazzling Gleam and recycle. But even if I Dazzling Gleam there, like, I can't win with Coco alone. So I protected there because my only way of winning the game is by surviving the combination of power. Like, if my opponent doesn't go for that play. But I thought my opponent made really impressive plays this game. Like, just attacking straight up with Tyranitar on that first turn. And not Trick Rooming immediately. Those were all really smart decisions that helped my opponent out a lot. And then switching in Ferrothorn afterwards. Like, that was my biggest misplay. Just losing the hindsight of... Oh, I guess Trick Room didn't end. Huh. With that, then, could I have played any differently? Not really. Yeah, I would have just recycled the following turn. Ultimately, yeah, like, my opponent won that game because Trick Room got set up and Ferrothorn got to come in for free, and I knew Ferrothorn was, like, a really big threat. The Dusclops was definitely really cool, and it was a really... That ally switch was a really good play, too. Because if you don't get the ally switch off, then I get the Gigavolt off against Ferrothorn, which should put it in Aqua Jet KO range, and then that means that, like, the Trick Room just expires way faster, and I have full offense pressure. So, really good play there, and, yeah, I mean, like, obviously it would have been tempting to low-kick the Tyranitar and just Belly Drum on turn 1. I really want to know what Dusclops was going for, but, like, we saw ally switch, we saw Trick Room, probably Nightshade, Will-O-Wisp, so I still think it had Will-O-Wisp. But another really cool team today, so we're running into a lot of crazy stuff. This one has a Ampharos, we played one a couple of episodes back, but Ampharos, Bronzong, Incineroar, Lele, Milotic, and the Aurorus. So, wow. That's all I gotta say, wow. How do I want to approach this, then? Last time I played against a team like this, I think I just let King Snorlax. I can fake out Bronzong even if Terrain is up from Lele, because it's not grounded, which is nice. I might honestly just go Kangaskhan Snorlax. Kangaskhan Snorlax. Definitely want a Mungus. And Coco is the last one is kind of tempting. Goth is interesting because it supports Snorlax so well. Maybe Goth's actually worth bringing here because my opponent will set up the terrain for me as well. Zoomerl is the other interesting pick though because I can Rage Powder and then get a Belly Drum off with the Zoomerl. King Snorlax. Do I want to go with King Snorlax? I feel like that's pretty good. Like, I really could make a case for any 3 of my Pokemon here as the last one. You know what? I think I'll bring Coco, though, just to have my Z move and have, like, consistent... Like, I one-shot my Milotic, do over 60% to Lele, Incineroar, and the Bronzong. So, yeah. I'm, like, pinning my opponent with this combination, because it's like, okay, if you set up Trick Room, my Snorlax can just sweep you, and if you don't set up Trick Room, I'll have the speed advantage with Kangaskhan and Tapu Koko. But, of course, with crazy Pokemon like Aurorus, I'm really not entirely sure what set it's going to be running. Bronzong's also an interesting pick. Bronzong, not exactly, like, the craziest Pokemon, but it's one that, it was really funny, because we saw so much usage of it in 2016 specifically. Otherwise, there was, like, occasional use of it from, like, 2008 to 2010, but not really the most common Pokemon back then. It actually is going to be Lele and Bronzong coming out from my opponent as a lead. Okay, interesting. I'm tempted, instead of going for the fake out onto Bronzong, to just double edge the Lele and not Trick Room, sorry. Belly Drum, yeah. Lele could be EV Touts to survive. But then the question is, like, what are you going to do? Psychic Z should have knocked out Snorlax. It would knock out Kangaskhan, but I'd be willing to trade Kangaskhan for getting the Belly Drum off. Lele could just protect here as Bronzong tries to Trick Room, but if you Trick Room, then you got Snorlax set up here. Lele is pretty much the biggest threat, though, so I can knock that out. That'd be huge, because that sets up, like, it just means Amoonguss's Rage Powders mean that much more. Which is why I have it in the back instead of leading with it. So let's see what Lele does turn 1. No Protect coming out. Let's see if Double Edge can just seal off the deal here. That would be huge for me. Yes, it just gets the knockout. Nice. So, yeah, I mean, my play there was either fake out Bronzong or just go for the Double Edge into Lele. And I get the Belly Drum off. It looks like Bronzong here is going to Trick Room, which is all good news for me. Yeah, I mean, Lele, exactly, obviously, like, not the most defensive Pokemon. Kangaskhan, even with the nerf to Parental Bond, still really strong. And looks like we are going to see the Z move come out. This is probably Z Trick Room, unless my opponent is running something like Shattered Psyche. Let's see. Yeah. boosting its accuracy. So now it can Hypnosis, which is a little bit scarier. In fact, I suspect like my opponent should probably go for that. So this next turn is going to be a little bit trickier because I can't one-shot the Bronzong, but I'm definitely going to swap Kangaskhan out into Amoonguss because then now I can just Rage Powder everything away from whatever comes in. And it is going to be Ampharos. It's crazy facing another Ampharos off. We do know that this gets access to Focus Blast, so my opponent, if gets some good fortune with Focus Blast, can really turn this around. But I'm just going to return Ampharos and bring out Amoonguss right now. Yeah. So let's see. Amoonguss will come in, which means I can start sporing everything as well, which is good. Ampharos, our second Mega Ampharos in just quite a few days. I think it was like the Valentine's Day episode where we had Mega Ampharos. Mega Shiny Ampharos is really cool, I will give it that, especially with Psychic Terrain. So Mold Breaker coming out, but no Protect, which is a curious decision. I feel like you really need to Protect there with Ampharos, because like there's no way I'm targeting Bronzong ever there. And Hypnosis here will connect, will hit the Snorlax, but I honestly think that might be a little bit too late for my opponent now. Unless this Bronzong also has Psych Up for some reason. That would be a cool tech just to deal with Belly Drum Snorlax. But typically Bronzongs run, you know what, like Gyro Ball, Trick Room, Hypnosis. And then you do have room for a fourth, I guess, so it's really open to whatever. As Aurorus now will come in for my opponent. I'm thinking of protecting Amoonguss this first turn. Yeah, because I don't want to take a Blizzard and a Hypnosis. And I'm just going to go for a Recycle, that doesn't matter, but it's the more optimal move, even if I unthawed, or not thawed, if I woke up. Because I can't get frozen right now. So Amoonguss protects, Snorlax takes a turn to sleep. Yeah, I could have Spored there, but, like, I can only Spore one of, obviously, Aurorus and Bronzong. I might as well burn a Sleep turn here with Snorlax. Because I know my opponent's just going to click Blizzard and Hypnosis right now. So, Blizzard really doesn't do too much there. I mean, 48 down to 97 is 51 damage. So, after, you know, Hail, that was, what, 66? So, yeah, I can take, like, obviously another 2. So, yeah. I just need a... It's probably better to actually Spore Aurorus, yeah, because obviously Bronzong doesn't seem to have, like, the... What was I worried about? The Psych Up. So I'm just going to Spore High Horsepower, yeah. Because Bronzong's not doing any damage, you can put my Amoonguss to sleep, but Snorlax is now going to wake up soon, too. And I go before Aurorus, so like I'm basically one turn ahead in terms of sleep counters. Don't wake up this turn, unfortunately, but not the end of the world. Bronzong here will actually miss the Hypnosis, which is actually a really big deal. So, pretty lucky there. I really don't think I needed it at this point in the game, but of course, like, that doesn't help my opponent's chances of coming back. Because now I can just Spore the Bronzong, and High Horsepower. Part of me is contemplating whether returning would be better, and it probably honestly is. I think going for a return into Bronzong is probably more optimal, because then, if either Pokemon go down, I bring in Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko finishes Bronzong off with the Z move, and then Kangaskhan can just low kick the Aurorus. So, probably wasn't risk clicking High Horsepower, because obviously I have the 10% chance to miss. Bronzong actually does have Protect, which is interesting. Not every day you'll see that. Good play, though, obviously. And Snorlax does take its third turn of sleep, unfortunately for me. Let's see if Aurorus can wake up. It does not, so that's still good for me. As Hail is also slowly expiring, which means soon my opponent's Blizzards won't be 100% accurate. So we're all just taking some Hail damage right now. Trick Room does expire, but I still feel really solid about my position overall. Here it's better to just protect Amoonguss, yeah. And I actually think I will return the Bronzong here. How can I lose this? I don't think I can still. Like, I really don't think I can. Yeah, I'm just gonna protect and return. Nah, I'm gonna High Horsepower still, I think, yeah. Because Gigavolt should knock out... actually, it definitely doesn't knock out Bronzong in this range. Oh, Bronzong actually opts for the double. Okay. Good for me, because I did consider returning that slot. And Aurorus also takes 3 turns of sleep, so lots of sleep with Pokemon today. As Snorlax does wake up, gets the High Horsepower off, and that will connect, which should now finally seal the game officially. So, that will go down. And, yeah, I mean, ultimately, my opponent just, like, the turn one, like, first turn worked out great. And really every turn worked out great. Like, once Lele went down and Snorlax got set up, and Trick Room went up, like, I was like, I probably have this game won. I just don't see how my opponent can really win it. Obviously, it was a little bit unfortunate that my opponent missed the Hypnosis, but, like, you're still rolling the dice with Z Hypnosis when you use it. And also, like, I was just in a really good spot. Like, the lead basically pinned my opponent. I don't know what the roll was against my opponent's Lele, though, because obviously that could have played a substantial factor in that game. Because if it were, like, a low roll... Sorry, if that were a high roll, then maybe if Lele survived, that's a completely different game, because it gets an attack off. But, yeah, I thought Ampharos there probably should have protected, too, instead of just going down. But maybe my opponent was just hoping that it would get an attack off, or I would, like, target the Bronzong slot. I just, like, don't see much reason to. It was so safe for me to switch into Amoonguss and attack with Snorlax. But let's play a third game here, because why not? It's been a slightly shorter episode. And, yeah, I'm just going back to that first game. I really got my butt kicked in that one. And, like, that's one where I don't think the matchup was awful. I mean, Ferrothorn actually is a pretty awful matchup, but I also think it was very... like, manageable, but my opponent, just that turn 1 play was very solid. Superpower Kangaskhan as well, onto Kangaskhan. Superpower on Tyranitar in general, I mean, that did win the Oceania International Championship, so it's not, like, crazy to see that, but you can see exactly how good it can be against against Kangaskhan and Snorlax. I was just looking at my opponent's Landorus. So this next team, Landorus, Zapdos, Crest, Lele, Feeny, and Metagross, so also pretty standard-ish, nothing too crazy. It's interesting because Amoonguss can still spore half my opponent's team despite a terrain being up. So what do I want to lead with? That's always the question. This is a game where Snorlax really can thrive if it gets set up. The only downside is my opponent has 3 Psychic types. Which means... King Coco is kind of tempting, but surely you would think my opponent's going to lead with one of the terrain users. Goth as a lead here is actually interesting. Not sure if it's really the best. Like, trapping in is nice, mainly against the Cresselia, the Feeny, and the Lele. And the Zapdos, actually. You know what? I'm gonna bring Goth. Goth, Snorlax. Excuse me. What do I want as the last one? If I bring Amoonguss, I'm fully committed to Trick Room setup, basically, whereas Coco gives me an out outside of Trick Room. I think I'm gonna bring Coco here. My opponent has 3 Psychic types. I'm really not fond of that. And, yeah, I just, like, with Feeny out too, I could get Spored on everything. Or I can't Spore the, like, Metagross and the Lele, which are the bigger threats to my Amoonguss. This could be a mistake, but let's see. So, putting my eggs in the Snorlax basket this game, pretty much. And let's see what Batman decides to lead with. It's going to be my King and my Goth. So, Fake Out Pressure immediately, Double Edge, Hoping Hand Pressure, lots of options as you guys have seen. And it's going to be Lele Metagross here for my opponent. Okay, so, upside, I... trapped into Psychic types against a Goth. Downside, I don't know what item Lele has. Could very easily just protect this first turn. So that's actually such a big deal. I don't know if I was playing on screen or not when I played a game against a Lele Metagross team where it was like the same lead. And what I want to do is switch into Coco. It's just, what does Lele do here? I think I'm going to just fake out the Metagross and switch out into Coco. And I can obviously fake it out because the terrain changes. Yeah, it's just like the play I'd want to make is like Double Edge Lele and just Trick Room. But Lele could very easily just protect turn 1. But it also could go for a Z move. Which is why, like, I really don't, like... There wasn't a play that really covered all my options there. Ideally, Lele protects here. Let's see. Because if it does, then the Fake Out chip damage should be enough to knock out the Metagross with the Gigavolt Havoc, and then now my opponent's really forced to switch out next turn. So ideally, turn 1, Lele protects, Metagross just tries to attack. And Metagross is Mega Evolving, no reason not to. Especially because I don't have Intimidate on my team. So, we shall see. Does Lele protect? Because I could have Double Edged the Lele slot. It doesn't protect, which really sucks. Because I really wanted to Double Edge it there. It could be Scarf, though, let's see. Or otherwise, maybe just a Taunt. No Scarf, just a Moonblast coming out, okay. Going into the Coco slot. That's Spexed. Oh, it's Life Orbed. Man, I really obviously could have Double Edged. I don't, like, feel too bad about that play, because if I Double Edge into a Protect, that's really bad for me. I think now, though, I definitely need to bring Goth out. I definitely need to Trick Room. The question is, though, do you protect with Lele? Because if you do, I could switch my Snorlax out into my... I think I really do need a Double Edge, unfortunately for me. Yeah, Double Edge and Trick Room. Yeah, because if I just Double Edge Lele and Trick Room that last turn, I get the knockout onto it before it even gets an attack off. I conserve my Coco and gets Trick Room up. I just thought Protect there was a very safe play from the Lele's end. And unfortunately, I had the Life Orb as well, because without the Life Orb, you don't knock out Coco there. No Protect comes out, which is a good start. So, Goth will not flinch. Or, sorry, I'll get the Double Edge off. I could flinch here, though. That would actually probably just seal up the game for me if I flinched. And Lele, yeah, you see how weak it is. Feints the one hit of Double Edge. So, yeah, I really could have Double Edged the first turn. I don't flinch, which is at least nice, and I will get my Trick Room off. The only downside is I took more than half from Iron Head. Another one will finish me off. One interesting play could be attacking myself with Kangaskhan to chip my berry. Not sure if I'm actually going to go for that, though. Otherwise, the play I'm contemplating is just switching Goth out into Snorlax as Zapdos comes in. That's also a pretty good Pokemon to see come in. Okay, I can definitely still do this. It's not over. But it's going to require some solid play. Yeah, I think I'm going to withdraw Goth out into Snorlax here. The question is, who do I want to target? Low-kicking Metagross could be an option, because then I could just high horsepower it for a KO. That's tempting. Yeah, I'm going to low-kick. Because Metagross is just a bigger offensive threat. Zapdos does not do very much against Snorlax. I'm going to switch Goth out into my Snorlax. So the question is whether I can get a Belly Drum set off this game. Lax comes in. It's actually Heat Wave coming out from Zapdos. I'll take that. No burn, please. Okay, nice. So I might not even be in Thunderbolt KO range right now. That low kick gets a crit. Does a ton to that Metagross, which is fortunate for me. And there's an Iron Head coming out. Is going to target down the Kangaskhan. Gets the knockout, but that's honestly fine with me, because now I get my Gothitelle back in. Question now is, though, whether do I go for the Belly Drum? Probably not. It's a tough call. How many turns of Trick Room are left? I need to double check that. There's still 3, so I shouldn't Belly Drum here, yeah. I think I should Psyshock Zapdos and just high horsepower Metagross. The main issue is Iron Head from Metagross will knock out my Goth. And I haven't eaten my berry up yet. So Metagross does protect, which is slightly frustrating, because if I had Belly Drum there, that might probably just wins me the game, but that's a pretty tough call to make, I think. Ideally, Zapdos just activates my berry here, because then I can Belly Drum this next turn. Let's see. Psyshock still does a good amount there. It actually has Discharge, okay. Hopefully no Paralysis. That definitely shouldn't knock out either of my Pokemon. Okay, nice. Yeah, so it puts me in berry range, lets me proc my berry, which is great. Okay, great. Do I want a Belly Drum here? I really wish I did last turn now, but like my opponent activated the berry, which is what I was hoping for. What could be in the back? That's the other question. Because you could just double up onto Goth with an Iron Head and a Thunderbolt here. I don't think I can Belly Drum, unfortunately. If there was a turn to go for, it was last turn. Yeah, I'm gonna Psyshock and high horsepower. It's a little bit unfortunate. Zapdos actually reveals that it has Protect. Okay, interesting. So hopefully high horsepower doesn't miss. Okay, good. This really comes down to who my opponent's last Pokemon is, though, I think. Yeah, that was an opportunity to Belly Drum, because I actually, like, my opponent really needed to double up to get the knockout there, so... Like, it's not a bad Protect, though, obviously. If it's like Cresselia as the last one, I win this game, I think. If it's Feeny, I also have a good shot. And it is Feeny, so now I have to ask whether it has Haze or not. My other question is, what item does this Zapdos have? It looks pretty offensive, like Discharge and Protect. And Psyshock did a sizable amount. I really want to just Psyshock and return that slot this turn. Because if I knock, I'm like one-on-one, Snorlax should win against Feeny. And this does seem like a fairly offensive Zapdos, so I'm going to double up. Alternatively, I could Belly Drum and Heal Pulse. That's honestly kind of tempting, too. Yeah, I'm actually going to go for that, I think. The only downside... Yeah, I just don't know what item the Zapdos has. If I had one extra turn of Trick Room, I'd feel so good right now, but I obviously don't. Because I'm thinking Snorlax can win 2v1 against these two. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see what Zapdos and Feeny go for. Maybe I should have just Psyshock in return and stuck to my gut. There's a Moonblast coming out. That's fine. Target's Goth. Yep. And just a Heat Wave. Even better for me, because Goth will survive. He can't burn me right now either. When Trick Room expires. Yeah, I guess this really comes down to whether he has Haze or not now. Because I'm going to Trick Room here. And I'm just going to return the Feeny. This is really close. Just Heat Wave coming out. Why Heat Wave instead of... Does it not have Thunderbolt? No Haze. It's just Muddy Watering. Okay. No accuracy drop. Please hit. Okay. I just need a hit against Zapdos, but it's more optimal to recycle this first turn. I can't get Terrained either. Or, sorry, I can't get Paralyzed or Burned, which is good. So as long as I don't get crit here, I think I win. Although... my opponent... Oh, that's probably Z Zapdos, isn't it? What else? It has to be, really. I should have targeted Zapdos. I think it's Z. Oh, it's... well, it's not using one. Discharge should have knocked me out. Okay. What is the Z move on that team, then? Lele had Life Orb. Not Metagross. Not Feeny. Maybe Landorus. Z Landorus would be interesting. I'm gonna keep clicking Recycle, because I got the accuracy drop. So I'm gonna play... like, that's just more optimal. You do it a couple of times. Yeah, enough where you heal all the way back up, and then I'll start clicking Return. 170 down to 107. The good thing is that Misty Terrain is up, so that really helps me out, so I don't have to worry about paralysis. So 170 down to 107, which was 63. So at this point, yeah, I should easily take multiple. But just to play it safe, I'm still going to recycle one last time, in case I miss, like, 5 returns in a row. It's just more optimal. Although Misty Terrain and Zapdos protects, actually. This is... what a crazy Zapdos. I mean, it's not that crazy, I guess, but Discharge and Heat Wave. So you gotta wonder, really, like, is Tailwind just the last option? And, no Z move on Zapdos is surprising as well. But, yeah, now I should definitely have won this game. That was really crazy. Yep, there's a Discharge. I mean, my opponent could get a Paralysis and multiple misses, so he needs a Para here. No Para, and I do not miss, which is great. So Return gets the knockout. Zapdos will not be able to take down Snorlax. Snorlax really coming in clutch this game. That was huge. Because I did not call Turn 1 correctly at all, and I thought I was in a really bad spot. But fortunately enough, the Lele didn't protect the following turn, so that was able to put me a little bit back into this game. And then once again, Snorlax just really being able to set up. The other thing was that my opponent like didn't target down. He targeted the Kangaskhan down, and the Snorlax slot got ignored, right? So Snorlax got to switch in for free, so I didn't take any damage, so then I got Snorlax out. A couple of good protects from Metagross and Zapdos, because if I belly drummed on the initial Metagross protect, I think I probably just would have won the game, because there would have been 2 turns of Trick Room afterwards, so I just targeted the Metagross slot, and then knock out one of Zapdos or Feeny. But in the end, we were still able to win, but that was a really close one for sure. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some really intense games and some really fun ones. Cool teams, definitely, and a very solid play from all my opponents. So yeah. As always, if you enjoyed, please share your support by leaving a like. I will be posting a team breakdown / analysis / QR code and paste for this team relatively soon, so keep your eyes out open for that. And yeah, I'll be done with this team in the next couple of days or so. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time. All right, peace.